So in this video, this is the 4.0 that I bought used for my XJ project, which is just around the corner over there. And today I'm going to try to take off this transmission. I don't really know anything about Jeeps, but I know cars well enough. Not great, but I've never separated a transmission from its engine out of the vehicle, so that's going to be interesting. I've also never dealt with a electronically controlled transmission, so I'm not sure like what steps I need to do, like where the disconnections should be. Basically, this is all going to come apart anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But the first thing I wanted to note, I just took off the crank sensor, which was right here, and this little flap here was there to keep the mud out, which apparently it has done quite well. So I put those bolts back in, and those were what are those? 7/16. And one thing that's cool, I bought some new tools. So I bought this Craftsman set here. They're a 2-piece set. If I really feel like it, I'll put a link below. You can get it on Amazon. I bought it for about $180 on sale. What I really like is these ratchets. Oops. I don't think I put it on right. But yeah, I didn't have it on all the way. The ratchets are nice and thin. I have a set of Quinn tools from Harbor Freight. They're like $60. They were all I could afford at the time. And they serve me well, except for the fact that on the Quinn tools, if you just look at them wrong, or just barely bump this switch, they'll go in the reverse direction. So, yeah, these are a lot better. So I'm gonna pause this, and this channel, I'm not gonna have any edits. It's just gonna be me talking and then pausing and then talking and pausing, because it's mostly for me. But if you like it, that's cool too. Thanks. So what I thought was a bunch of wiring that was attached to the motor isn't. That connector right there on the ground was stuffed up behind the distributor for whatever reason, probably just for packaging, to get it in the car. So really all I'm going to do now is pull the starter, and then let's see here, I've got to pull the exhaust manifold bolts right there and get that exhaust manifold out of the way. Or not the exhaust manifold, but get the exhaust out of the way. The manifold, it was just cut out of the car it was in, so I got to do that. And then I got to get underneath it and start getting all the torque converter bolts. So I'll get started on that. So here's another thing I got on Amazon. This was actually on the torque test channel and got good reviews. I got it on sale with a coupon for $60. So I'm using this to try to get to that. Problem is I don't have a wobble or anything. Let's see if it works. Oh, yes. That was glorious. I don't know how long that would have taken by hand. I don't want to know. I don't care. I'm just sitting here leisurely on my bench. Oh, that's some glory right there. And just need to wiggle it just a little bit. You're gonna see me wiggle it just a little bit. Not what it's made for. There we go. And boom. Okay, that made me very happy. I need to disconnect the O2 sensor, however. Oh, a couple of zips with the impact, and this was out. That was a 5/16 to get off. I think this was let's see, 9/16. No, this is 5/8. This is 9/16. So the starter's off, and now I've just got to start on the torque converter bolts. So little bit of work later. I've got the dust cover off, a couple 13 mil bolts there. Watch the bleep and Jeep video on how to do this. Looks like there's a couple of there's 4 19-inch bolts holding the torque converter to the flywheel. So I've got to get those off, and then I can pull the rest of the bolts and pull the transmission off, which I'll use a floor jack to do that. Or I might just set it on that block right there, or a couple blocks, and then pull the engine off, whatever. Whatever I can get the most control with. And then that's going to be it for today. So I've jacked up the engine a bit more here, and I'm going to start working on those bolts, which are down right in there. All right. Well, there's the torque converter bolts. I got them all out, and I realized down there I may have dented the oil pan by pivoting it right there, but that's not a big deal. The oil pan is going to be coming off anyway, and I can just beat it out with a hammer and some wood. You know, why am I so out of breath? Well, that is because I'm in the worst shape of my entire life. I really am. 48 years old, 375 pounds, 370. But at that point, what does it really matter? And I've been working from home for the last 13 years. Haven't really stayed physically fit and active. Best shape of my life in my adult life was when I was commuting on a bicycle in Reno for 3 years straight. That did me a lot of good, but I'm not doing that anymore because I work from home. And so it's a lot for me to get under this and do all this, because my muscles just are gone. My arm muscles, just from wrenching those 4 bolts out, because my impact wouldn't fit in there. That took a lot out of me, actually. Kind of embarrassing, but it's the truth. One of my goals is to get in better shape, and I like to be in shape by doing practical things, not by just exercising. Although I may have to adjust my my view of that, all things considered. So now, so with those things out of the way, now it's time to get the engine up and get something underneath the transmission. I don't know if I have time tonight. I only have about 20 minutes of light left, but maybe tomorrow I want to get the I want to get the engine on a engine stand and free up the hoist so that I can start tearing apart this engine. I'm going to put a new rear main seal in it, new intake and exhaust gaskets, and whatever else. I'm seeing a lot of fresh oil down there at the bottom. So, and he said it uses oil. The guy I bought it from said it uses oil, but I think it might be actually just leaking oil out the rear main. So I'll know once I get the flywheel off. So that'll be fun. Yeah, anyway, that's where we're at. Let's get to it. Okay, so I just took a floor jack underneath there and dragging that out of my shed over there. Over here was not fun. Jacked things up, undid the bell housing bolts, and it just kind of fell apart. So I'm just trying to get it aligned so I can pull it out without damaging. Actually, it should be good because the bell housing, or the flywheel and the torque converter are no longer attached. So I should be able to just pull that straight out. So I'm going to do that now. And 30 seconds later, I jacked the tranny up a little bit, gave it a yank, and they separated. So I'm done for the night. Gonna clean up here, just put the tools away at least, and then tomorrow I'm gonna get the transmission out of the way, and then get the motor onto an engine stand, so I can start tearing into it. So thanks for following along, really appreciate it, and let's try to put this thing down on the ground without hurting anything. Got to get that board out of there. only a little bit clumsy with this stuff. Oh, yeah. Maybe I should have left that board there. Yeah. This is going to be fun. Oh, tune in for the next one.